Oh yeah. Welcome to Buckeyes and Friends. Shuffle up and stay a while. Here we go.
Alright, Buckeye and Friends, we got something back up on the site. So we got a few things we want to hit on. First of all, I'm D-Rob, David Robin the Judge, and I'm here with my man Earl.
That's Earl or Zombie Earl on the Discords.
So we're gonna touch on a couple things today. Not that type of way, but we mainly gonna talk about the difference between Modern and Incursion. But we are going to do a brief GenCon recap and talk, of course, about the Ohio Regional coming up. If you're not signed up for it, you should sign up. If you're not going, you can do commentating. You can participate in many different ways. But I am back off track, so let's get this. Let's start off with a quick GenCon recap.
All right.
So you did some of the side of you played on Thursday, right?
I played on Thursday.
And you did an AEW event. Did you do anything else? And you did a blood and
guts. I did the blood and guts too. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just. I mean, the blood and guts. I didn't play Liu Kang, so I didn't do very well. And then the AEW was pretty fun, but it was single elimination, and I won my first match against a new player. I don't know that he had just learned to play the game that day, and he was an AEW fan more than a Versus fan. So he was kind of rusty on the rules. So I won that one, and then I played Mitch. And, when you play Mitch, it's a 50-50 at best. And I was under the 50. So so it's pretty fun. That was the two side events. And then the Incursion, I only played on Thursday. I made the top 8 on Thursday, so I didn't play on Friday.
But before we go on, I know you don't want to take credit for it, but I'm gonna mention it. You did come number 1 on the Thursday, day 1. 7-1 was it, or 6-1? How many rounds was it?
6-1. Yeah, I was in first place. I think Vern and I were tied at 6-1. But I had the heads up matchup against Vern, and a slightly better opponent record too. So it was real close, but I edged Vern out for first place. So I won the first day qualifier.
We won't give you that congratulations, but like every division winner in sports and stuff, nobody really remember that once the next season starts up. But that's still a very impressive on the first day going. I mean, the top seed. I mean, what the highest seed you've been before? I don't think what you've been.
I've made a couple top 8s before. I made top 8 at GenCon in 2018, and I top 8'd in Midwinter, not this year, but the year before. So I made a couple, but I never won never been in the top seed.
Okay. Do you want to give a quick recap about what got you there real quick?
Sure. So I was playing Scarlet Spider, Ghost Spider. So mostly, I was Ghost Spider, so I could get the Prowlers and play them on my deck. But then when I leveled up into Scarlet Spider, so I could continue to play Prowlers from my deck. Because I was all in on the Prowler combo. I packed Dutch and Maximus. And I think that packing both of them makes the deck really consistent to trigger off on turn 4. Your mulligan condition, you're not worried about drawing your Prowlers. You're only really worried about locations. And based on what locations you get, then you know whether you're looking for Maximus or Dutch. So, I mean, it's real consistent. You should build it. If you don't think it's consistent, it's there.
No, I have played against it. No, that is definitely a very consistent deck.
Yeah, I mean, it's over 75% it fires off on turn 4. So, it's pretty consistent. So I played that. The first round I played against Dawson, and he was playing Magneto. I knew from testing that Magneto, well, he's not a a bad matchup. If he gets helmet, I'm just done. So there's that. Dawson was playing. He wasn't playing loyal. He on turn 3 turn 2 he used his yellow and he got the equipment Destiny and he put it in his hand and then he didn't play it. And then turn 3 he used the yellow again and he had the helmet come up in the top cards. So then it got shuffled back in and he played Destiny and didn't get the helmet. So then I won on turn 4 actually turn 5. Turn 4 I gave him the Maximus and then turn 5 I played another the Prowler as a Maximus. And on turn 5 I had to play a Prowler and go get that other Prowler. So that was pretty good. 2 I played against the Deep, against Gabriel. I played him in tournaments before, and he played a TVA. So I was able to put my Prowler combo on turn 2, and I used the Dutch, and he couldn't get in for an attack on turn 2, so I won that game. And then on turn 3, or round 3, I played against Ash. He was on Dark Phoenix. I tested against Dark Phoenix a bit, but I didn't know which one he was playing. On turn 4, I did the Dutch combo with off Prowler, and he couldn't get an attack in to stop me, so I won that game on turn 4. Round 4, I played Vern. He was on a Loyal Magneto. Loyal Magneto, some people are like, oh, they'll stand together. But since I'm doing it on like turn 4 and I play Alcatraz, if I can get one guy off the board, then he can't stand together because he needs 4 guys out to stand together, the Maximus combo. So he couldn't stand together. I swapped out Magneto with Maximus. He was able to survive to turn 6, keeping his Prowler alive with plot twists and whatnot, but I got to him eventually. So that was a win. So I was feeling pretty good at 4-0, and then I got paired up against Mitch. And Mitch is a tough fight no matter what. He was on Ghost Spider, very similar early game, but then he packed a lot of the late game. He went first. So when he got to... I got the Dutch combo out on turn 4. So on his turn 5, he played a Prowler, drew a card, and then got the Boomerang to flip both my guys down. And then I never really recovered from that. So he ended up winning. But he had drawn the Boomerang with the Prowler that he played. So that was a pretty close game. At that one spot, it was pretty close. After that, he pulled away with it. So that was my first loss. 4-1 felt pretty good. I played Cell after that. He was on Loyal Magneto, and it's if they don't get the helmet, it's the same thing that happened to Vern. He had 4 guys out. He felt pretty good about it. I Alcatraz won. Then I did the Prowler Maximus, KO'd Kingpin, or Magneto, and then attacked with my main Scarlet Spider, who's big enough to hit Prowler. So I got the win there, turn 4, and then the last round I played against Patrick with Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock's a really good matchup for me. Adam Warlock players don't think so, but it is. He was beating on me, but I had a multiple man team attack to turn him face down so that I wasn't taking so many wounds. But I still got him on turn. He MCA'd my first Prowler, 4-cost Prowler. So on turn 5 I had another one, and Maximus Adam Warlock, and then I had to play another Prowler because he saved him that turn. So this was my third Prowler, and, or third 4-cost Prowler, and that made it through.
Yeah, so
The fourth one got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so real quick, go through why you end up going with Scarlet Spider instead of straight up Ghost Spider. I think that's important for everybody to understand as well.
Oh, so the reason I went with Scarlet Spider is because when you level up, you keep the dimensional wristwatch. So when Ghost Spider levels up, she loses the dimensional wristwatch, so she can't go get any more Prowlers. So I can, on turn 1, play the 1-drop Prowler, draw a card. Turn 2, I play 2 1-drop Prowlers, draw 2 cards. On turn 3, I really want to play Jessica Jones there. And then on turn 4, I can go get the 4-drop Prowler out of my deck. And then normally that would level Ghost Spider up. So it levels my Scarlet Spider up. And then I don't lose the dimensional wristwatch because I level up to Scarlet Spider. When you level up as Ghost Spider, her second level says that you lose the dimensional wristwatch. So I don't lose that. So I can go get another Prowler who has stealth to go get the Prowler I give them. Or if they MCA my Prowler and kill him, then I can go get another one the next turn and try again. That's another part that makes it a little bit more consistent for that early win.
Yeah, so I had your deck list up so people, you're not able to see it, but people on the screen able to see it.
All right.
So,
But if I go to Dutch, then I have the In Good Hands and I have the Fine Covers to keep my main and Dutch alive and Jessica Jones. And then other than that, I'm just trying to get the locations for the Maximus or the Dutch. I mean, everything else I can fish it out of my deck.
So last question, were there how deep were the thought process of what spider to put in the powerful Scarlet Spider?
Well, I mean, Ghost Spider was the only one I really needed, but I put everyone in there that I could think of. I didn't put the, I don't know, I guess I just liked writing Spider-Man a lot because I put them all in the pot.
I just thought I'd add because, like you said, they really wasn't needed, and if you were going to use maybe 1, 2 tops, maybe.
Yeah. I think in the whole tournament, in the day 1, I didn't use a single. I maybe used one, where I put another one in, but I don't think I used it at all. Got to use the yellows for Maximus.
So I mean, like I said, finishing on the top, I mean, still mad props for that. I mean, yeah, it's not a tournament win, but man, that's still a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it felt really good. So then I didn't have to play on Saturday or Friday. So I turned my tickets in for some generics, which was kind of nice.
So were you aware who? So after on Thursday, were you aware who your matchup with? Or, what the game plan was, or were you waiting for the deck list to come out?
Well, I knew what the matchup was. I knew I was playing John Phillips. I knew he was on the deep. I hadn't seen the deck list yet. I had beaten the deep in the play, but he I don't think he knew what I was doing, or I don't think he had faced a Ghost Spider deck yet. So actually, when he played the TVA on turn 1, and he went first, played the TVA. So then I got 2 resources, drew 2 cards, and then I went to 4, and I was already at Prowler. So he hadn't seen my deck list. He didn't know what I was doing. So when I faced John in the top 8, I knew that he wasn't going to make that mistake, and he was going to make me play 4 turns, which would give him time to level up and maybe hit Prowler with his power, at which point he can get it with everywhere I go I see his face. And then I'm pretty much done. I have some other outs, but it's really hard, and it's just a very hard matchup for me and almost unwinnable.
Right, what do you want to talk to lead up to that, or talk that? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a short conversation.
It I don't know. It's just a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, the first game I started off doing what I wanted to do and not playing any prowlers. But with the Deep's draw power, it makes him really consistent at getting his greens and getting what he needs to level up. And then he didn't play the TVA, like I said, to give me a chance to hit it. So then he could level up on 3. I had to wait till 4 to play Prowler. And I didn't play the Prowlers to keep him on my kill pile. But then he leveled up and he got them with the Dock River Lake power, that puts 7 cards out. And then he called Prowler. So that made it hard for me. So I lost that first game. We started the second game, and I'm like, well, I didn't draw multiple man, which I can use to level up instead of Prowler. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to play the game because not playing Prowlers, he could hit it anyhow. So I just did my thing, and he had the turn 3 Mordo everywhere I go to see his face. So I was done there too. I mean, I got a couple plays I can make at that point, but he shut it down pretty fast. So it was a bad matchup against a great player. I'm happy with how things turned out. I mean, I wish I would have got farther, but.
So just a couple more questions before we get to the main point of this YouTube video. The first, if you were played on Friday, like to say you didn't make top cut, do you have any idea what you would have played on Friday?
So the other deck that I had built and ready, I mean, I brought all my cards to GenCon, so I could have switched to anything. The other deck that I had built and ready was Valkyrie, and I was real comfortable with that.
Amen.
And that's what I probably would have played.
Okay.
Day 2. I was real high on Cloak and Dagger as well, but I didn't have them built, so I probably would have went with Valkyrie.
Okay, so so that will round up our GenCon talk for now. Maybe we'll get back deeper into it once we get Sean on board, but we wanted to get this out with the new incursion list coming out, right?
Yeah.
But I guess first thing we got to talk about is because one of the reasons we talk about this because Ohio Regional Saturday, September 16th. You do plan on playing in that, correct?
I will be there.
Okay, I will be the head judge for that. So everybody, if you don't know, Rollin will be the organizer, and then so we got some events on Friday and Sunday. We got a draft and we got free fall, a lot of cool stuff. We will definitely be doing I think Monday, me, Scott, and Sean should be or Keith will be doing a recording, a stream talking about that, answering questions. So if you hear about that, look for us on Monday. So but let's move along with what the real reason we're here. The difference between modern and incursion. So I know in the Discord you see people, saying things like, what's one better, or my favorite thing of why something, why didn't this get incurred? Why the machine not getting incurred? Why this didn't get incurred? So I think you made an argument that people don't understand the difference between the two.
Yeah. I know that you're on the Modern Council.
Yeah.
I know that I often get accused of being a Modern hater, and I don't hate Modern. It has its place, but it's different than Incursion. I really like Incursion. So
So
go
up
ahead.
on the screen I have now. So I have the Modern Council on one side, and I have the people who ban cards and Incursion. As y'all see, it's two totally different groups of people, and with totally different amount of powers.
and I would say 2 different objectives.
Yeah, that too. So let's start there. So if I ask you point blank, what is modern or what is purpose? Just sum it up. Give me what your input on that.
On what Modern? Well, you're on the Modern Council, so my understanding of what Modern is you guys meet in a dark room that's lit by candles, and there's chanting going on in the background in Latin probably, and you guys talk about the power level of cards and cards that are too powerful, and they need to be removed to create a balanced play, an enjoyable play experience.
Okay, so now, I mean, obviously you don't know super awesome games. So what the point of Incursion?
So Incursion is super awesome games, and I believe that they look at deck lists and they destroy the cards that are played in higher quantities. And I'm guessing that higher quantities in the top is generally what they look at, but maybe they also look at an overall.
I believe
Much
there's a
doesn't-
I believe it's an unknown formula they use as well, to my
Yeah,
understanding. So
I
I
have
mean,
been told that the rules are not written in stone,
right.
but it does sound like they do have a formula. And things that I know you and I have talked about is that the winner has always been cut. Um, Other than the small event at the Legacy tournament, I can't at Midgard.
Yeah.
They've always cut at least one of each type: location, plot twist, main character, and supporting character.
Equipment is also in there as well.
Equipment. Yeah, they've always, other than the smaller event, have always cut one of each, and that held true again for this last round of cuts.
And the other big thing I don't think people pay attention to both things. I mean, Modern and Council, a lot of us play in events and stuff, and we make decisions when playing it. Incursion Super Awesome Game. I don't think Super Awesome Game had yet to show up at an Incursion event, physically
Wow.
be there and seeing what hit in the table.
Yeah, I haven't seen them there. Maybe, yeah.
So it's like I said, it's a whole different animal, and like people expecting the same result from both things. These are just two totally different things.
Yeah. So Incursion is just, if they said we're get a different field every Incursion event.
So I think the way, so if I want something up, I guess since I'm on the council, I should get my input of what it is. So basically, kind of a little bit behind the wall, what we do. I mean, we kind of talk over cards that we think would make the play experience unfun for like the common player. It kind of, I guess, the best way. So we make decision. We put a card up that we think may be qualified to be banned, and we vote. There's 7 of us, so always gonna be an odd number. And we usually make a vote, but we also pull cards back sometime if a card feel like okay, we want to add this card back in. Many different reasons. Like I said, we got a lot of different mind states in this. So I mean, different reason why things get banned. We got different play groups, so some people feel stuff is stronger than other people, and it's always a back and forth. But Incursion, I mean, the only point of Incursion is just to get rid of cards. I mean, they don't care about balance. Balance is not one of their priorities.
Well, yeah, they're just looking at what gets played.
Right.
So one thing that's always kind of struck me as odd is that people are implying what you guys are doing at Modern, and they think
Right.
that's what's going on at Incursion, and they're like, well, why didn't this get banned? Why didn't that get banned? So
I think the prime example is the machine.
yeah.
So
Go ahead.
like I said, I mean, we had discussed it on many occasions. We feel like it's almost impossible based on what we've seen up to this point. It's never possible for the machine to be banned.
Yeah.
I would think a
So-
base location would go before the machine would go. That's just my feeling.
I keep saying that if they're going to ban machine, then they got to ban gadget,
Right.
automation. They're going to have to ban the other neutral inventions.
Right.
And I know that everybody would be like, well, those don't have to go. And I agree they don't have to go. But if you're going to get machine, every deck that plays machine also plays those. And while they're not in the deck, they're on the deck list. So I think they would all have to go.
And the flip side of that, if for example, like Mystique, she was banned all 4 of her levels. I didn't watch many of Jose game, but I'm guessing that A-Force level 2 Mystique saw no play at all at any point. He may not even have packed that in his. He may have had the sleeve in a locked door that it wasn't going to get open ever.
Yeah.
I don't think at no point he thought like, you know what? I better go to the A-Force level 2. I could use some ferocious right now. I bet that.
It probably never crossed his mind.
So, but it still made the list. Why? Because it was part of that package.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing I'd like to say about incursion is before these events, people talk about what needs to be incurred,
Right.
and this needs to be incurred, that needs to be incurred, and then they come to the event and they're not playing any of those cards that they listed that they want to be incurred.
Yeah.
If you want those cards to be incurred, you need to play them.
Ask a friend to play them.
Yeah, exactly.
So real quick, I'm gonna go over and you see just by the quality, like how much small the modern band is, because we kind of want to keep the pool pretty open. We don't want to like take a lot of stuff away. We just want to take like stuff like turn one wins, you get an infinity undestroyable main character type thing off the board.
Yeah.
So that kind of what mine. So right now I got the band list of Myron MCs right now. We have what, 2 photos and 4 illustrated.
Yeah. Wait, is this the old? This
the current one?
The current one, right? Never mind. Hold on, I was thinking about incursion. I got it mixed up.
No, yeah, we're gonna do all the Myron stuff first. So you haven't seen the slide. We're doing all the Myron stuff first, and then we'll go deeper into incursion, since they're gonna be what the Ohio original will be. So but yeah, outright the obvious reason why they there.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask anybody, they could tell you why these cars are here.
Yeah.
And I tell more people, even when they were getting ready for the incursion event, if you want to know what MCs are playing for, you should plan for everyone that's on the modern band list, because they're there for a reason.
Did Mantle Loki MCU? He's not on the list.
I think we haven't talked about this, and it's been over 6 months, so he haven't been in even an option in the conversation since we last voted.
All right,
but he gonna be high up on the list. I know. Yeah. Go over this. There are only 3 support characters right now. That's it by this. Oh yeah, and Langley should be here. I don't know how I missed him, but Langley should be here as well.
That's a good list.
Plot twist.
Another boogeyman card.
Yeah.
I hear it's real good, but it doesn't show up.
And equipment.
Yeah.
All right,
I think machine
terribly on that page. Oh boy, I just kept misspelling that word and just went with it. You can tell I did this while I was at work. Yeah. So, but I mean, a lot of them cards, like I said, Black Widow, you don't see him in deck, but if somebody put Black Widow champion in their deck, they put in there usually for one reason.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the incursion list, and we'll go a little more discuss about this. And because Modern when the last Modern event been?
Has anything happened since midwinter?
Well, did they use them in any of the regional local side? I don't know. We haven't used it for the Buckeye events. I may have used it for his event. I think that was the last thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I used it for his. Heck, I thought that might not even be an updated list. I was at work today and I put that together. And I think Invisible Woman Venom should be on there too.
I think you're right.
I just looked at the pocket verses. Shout out to Oz for doing that. But I just looked at that. I didn't even double check, because I would mainly focus on the incursion, which is what I think is the most important thing right now for the upcoming event. So let's get right into the main characters. So these are the illustrated mains that are banned. You would never see them play in an incursion event again. I mean, the only reason Dr. Doom on here because he's a inventor.
That's real strong.
Someone blink, wink, wink.
You know what? If the turn 1 inventor, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna make a prediction right here. Turn 1 inventor. We're gonna have another one on that bit list.
Wink, wink. Spider-Man, I think he came. So Dr. Doom would have won GenCon last year, so that's why he got on the list. I don't think if he win, he don't make the list.
Isn't Outriders on the list too?
Well, in the photo page, once I get the photo.
Okay. I should just read.
So I did put more care into putting this list together because I used this to check. But yeah, so Spider-Man, he was in pure number at Midwinter, right?
Yeah.
Kate Pryde was in pure numbers at last GenCon.
Yep.
And then the yellow one with the yellow boys of the new stuff. Magneto's in pure numbers. Ghost Spider top 4 pure numbers.
Second place, I think. Yep.
Yeah, Warlock top 4 pure numbers. And then we have Mystique who won it.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll hear the same thing. Why they here? Pure numbers.
That's what showed up. That's what get cut.
I mean, because in a lot of cases, I don't think Ghost Spider gonna ever make a modern list. Like as the person on the Mind Council, I could see voting for some of these cars, but Ghost Spider would be the only one to be like, I don't know about that.
We'll see if there's a modern event. If 20 Ghost Spiders show up, we'll see.
Right, and then like I said, but we will see them at the event. So
yeah.
And here go the photo band, which is the 3 of them. MCs, Outriders, First Evil, so Outriders in pure numbers at GenCon last year.
Second place in?
Huh?
They had second place in GenCon last year, Incursion?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
So top cut. But since it was a top cut, I just refer them in. But I think they had high numbers as well.
Yeah, I think so.
First Evil was the winner out in Seattle. And then Loki, pure numbers and won midwinter.
Yeah, very strong.
And Loki took a lot of cars with him. When you go through this list, Loki took a lot of cars with him that will see no play nowhere else.
That's all right. They can go. They could go.
Right, but they can still go. But you see, like, they're cars that you would look like, why this card on the list? I mean, if you just came out the blue and didn't see none of the previous events, like, why this on the list? So here go the photo support character. The illustrated support characters. So yeah, a lot of Sentinel went early.
Yeah, they got them all. They're not messing around.
Yeah, because but they were just they were preventing for a lot of combos. Especially with the Ultron.
Yeah.
And stuff, and just for machine combos. Senator Kelly still Senator Kelly. Solo, I know he been in conversation on modern list. Him and Kane both been at least in the conversation. I don't think they ever get the full ban, but we have at least discussed those two.
I don't think those cards feel bad when you play them, but they do enable a lot of other things. Like they go in a lot of decks,
right?
And that's why they don't seem broken, but they show up in a lot of decks. And that's where they're getting hit in Incursion because they're showing up in the decks.
Yeah, like I said for Solo, if you run the Solo in your deck, you got 4 copies. Nobody ain't never ran 3 copies of Solo in their deck.
I agree. Yeah. And almost every aggressive deck played him.
Right. They were just. There were no MC that forced it. You could play in a lot of MCs. All these previous. Now let's talk about the newer band stuff. Iceman, there was a lot of stalling decks going on, so Iceman helped with that.
Yeah. Here's one thing I noticed about Incursion that makes it kind of interesting to me as somebody who likes to look at new formats. And that's one thing I like about Incursion is it's always a new format. Is that you have the things that are really strong that are getting hit, and then the things people are playing to stop them also get hit. And Iceman's one of those things. You play the Iceman, you stall out the aggro main character so you can survive. So he's a counter card, and he got hit.
Prowler, a one drop that draw card. He will play in most illustrated decks.
Yeah.
Unis, he went with Magneto and Mystique. Because every Magneto player had an Unis in their deck.
Or 4. Or 3.
Right. and maybe the other one, but they at least have this 12 plus, and the same thing with Mystique probably.
Yeah.
Um, Boomerang was a counter card.
Yeah. And he gave me my one loss.
Hmm. Jessica Jones was a counter card.
Yeah. For all the complaining that I've heard about Jessica Jones over the last 5 years, there should be some rejoicing in the streets about her banning.
Boy, but we're gonna find out, was she really keeping the gate closed or not? Was she standing in front of the gate or was she not?
Yeah.
Jungle Hunter. I mean, there was a lot of ramping going on this GenCon.
Yeah, he's been a staple card for a long time.
Monarch, Dark Phoenix. I think they go hand in hand. Yeah.
Those two could go.
Right.
Get out of here. It's like those are gone. We're playing a new game of versus now.
And then you got the Army Swiss Knights, Ahab himself.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss that guy.
With the improvement of the X-Men and Brotherhood, he was just so much better. I mean, to be able to have access to a Sage, an Iceman, whatever you need. Even you could put you could get one of the Destinies.
Yeah, that was my favorite move. Like I need a specific character, I need a specific equipment. I play the Ahab, and I get the Destiny I need. It makes that Destiny basically a 4-0. But it's gone.
Namor, I think it was just pure size.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, size does matter because Mantis was about to ramp.
Yep.
All the Ghost Spiders and stuff for Prowler and Scarlet Spiders.
Yep.
I think he was in Maximus, obviously.
He's got to go.
And Tim Bubai, I mean, the people he gonna fight off one drops from ever in this ban zone.
There are a lot of number ones. If you look, probably the highest band is number 1.
Yeah, I think this is the first time, at least for Illustrated, we got high drops. Because before that, Massacre was the highest as a 4 drop. And now we got a 9, 8, 7, 6, a couple 8s. Yeah, so. All right, let's move this along. Photo. Again, the Lone Gunman is another example where in Modern we just ban Langley.
Yeah.
But Incursion, if you got Langley in the deck, you got you got at least 4 hickeys and at least 3 to 4 buyers.
Yeah. When you're playing all those cards together, right? So nobody was not playing buyers.
Right. and they also took I Need Your Help with them.
Yeah.
Goose. I mean, I've been missing him. I know he had been. I've been missing him. He's one of the good count that Photo had to stop things with Illustrated.
Yeah, he's been missed.
Grandmaster. I mean, you talking about aggro and Photo.
That was the card that I had a super hard time remembering was incurred. I don't know. Like I was throwing it in all my Photo decks.
And then the Leviathan, this is a Loki. Loki put this card here.
Yeah. That's it.
Because when Loki got banned, this card probably would never see much to any play.
Agreed.
But Ego, he's here for a reason.
Yeah, everyone was playing him. Everyone, every Photo deck had that in it. Everyone.
Right. Morbius, I mean, man, he is game breaking. Looking at this list, I mean, for the 2 drop, he might be the. I mean, out this list of all these white guys that's on here, he might be the baddest one.
Yeah, he doesn't look so bad, but man, he just ruined it.
Remember 3 new one, Doppelganger. I mean, he was another problem solver against Illustrated. Yeah. Oh, you got Omega? Guess what I got?
He's super good. I'm kind of sad that he's gone because, like, I know that there were decks running him, but I don't know. I felt like Like he can be abused, and I don't think he was being abused, but he's super good. So
But if you think about the photo decks that were there, he would probably in like the Liu Kang decks. He probably showed up in. I know the Odin decks he was definitely in. There was a couple
yeah,
Odin. Well, the Deep. I know. Was he in John Phillips Deep?
I think so.
Okay, so I mean, same thing with Fox. Fox, I mean, he went and got Dark Phoenix.
He was the answer. He was the photo answer for Dark Phoenix.
So I mean, if he had to go, I'm glad he went with Dark Phoenix. He could chase after her there in the Nether Realm, and then finally Thanos. People kind of force the alt win. If you could get him out early, or get people
Yeah,
stuck in the situation where you got many support characters, then he was your guy.
a
Um,
staple.
so
And that's
finally,
what they're doing, staples.
yeah. And then finally, the equipment. Well, not finally, but we get into the equipment next. So the only thing they got was Soulstone, but Nullifier. I mean, that was another one to illustrate that answers to a lot of problems.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of those things that I was talking about. Is that the thing you pack to stop it,
Right,
that everyone packs? That's what's going to get hit too. So
right.
kind of the answers and the problems are going. We'll see how it pans out.
The illustrated Darkhold. I mean, I know for some out of time, but there were a lot of villain plot twists that you wanted to just keep getting back.
Yeah.
Soul Gem, there was a lot of Adam Warlock.
Yeah, like I made a list. I think I put it out there somewhere of cards that I thought were going to get incurred.
Yeah.
I had no idea what equipment was going to
Right.
get incurred because I knew
They
that
always.
yeah. But then when I saw Soul Gem, I'm like I should have known Soul Gem
Right.
because all the Adam Warlocks were packing it.
Right.
But I only played against one Adam Warlock and
Because I'm
it
trying to
didn't
think,
get
is there any
turned.
other equipment that would have been consistently showed up like that? I can't
The
think of.
Electron Scrambler.
Were there any in Top Cut decks?
Well, I don't know if Mitch was running it. I know the other Ghost Fighters were
Okay.
running it. I should
Okay.
have
So
been running
right. Right. And then the bottom three is all thanks to Loki.
it. Yep. Thanks, Loki.
I mean, they wasn't used for what they on the card. They will lose because of the number in the top left corner. The only reason they was in the Loki deck in large numbers.
No, well, he was using Chitari weaponry for what it gets used for as well.
He had get his target, but like I said, without Loki, I mean, if that was
Yeah,
a 5 cost, it wouldn't have been on the deck.
that's true.
It's a 0 cost. Yeah, his power helped with that, but and this is one of the two. Like none of the equipment's in here. Why temp pad in here over to the other ones? Um, plot twist. Um, 3 illustrated. So so we got our first illustrated team stamp plot twist.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
We got two of
that's
them. We got 4 of
another
them. Yeah, yeah.
that's another staple card. Although they didn't have to get it because I don't. I mean, Nimrod is the only supporting character left on the team, right?
So we still got the Sentinel MC, which I still think would have had decent game with it for the
Yeah, that's
MCA.
poor Sentinel. He's got no teammates.
Right.
He's thinking when I get to Nimrod.
I mean, that lets you know how good this plot twist is. It was in large numbers, and all the Sentinels had already been banned.
Yeah, yeah. It's
The only
saying
people
something.
who could play that were Ahab and the Hounds. So
Yeah,
once Ahab left, I think this plot twist was gone anyway,
yeah,
unofficially, just like Master Mode. And then dramatic interest. I mean, Dark Phoenix is still out there, so I mean, she's still, the main character's still hanging out there, but losing this hurts a little bit.
yeah. I
Um,
agree. I think it
I
hurts her. I actually think it hurts her a lot.
yeah,
But
I think Friend from Work was just in every photo deck.
well, it's super good.
Right. Global Network is for combos, right? I mean, Global Information
Yeah,
Network, and then I Need Your Help was with the Lone Gunman. If I got 16 on team cards, and I could get another card that let me search for any card in my deck.
yep.
And finally, locations. So Wakanda, of course, been gone for a Cersei. Bifrost, I was surprised that got there when it did. But
Yeah.
I guess I think they wanted to get a photo. That's the same way with TVA. I thought, I know TVA is definitely popular. I'm not saying it from that, but number wise, I didn't think every photo deck. But I guess the Deep had it in there. Luke Kane, of course, would run it.
I think both the Liu Kangs, the top had it.
Yeah, yeah. I
The
mean, I
deep
guess
had
you
it.
have
It
to look
was
at.
it was in all the photo top cut decks.
Okay, yeah. So that
And
makes sense.
you know from all the play testing, everyone you playing
Yeah,
photo is
yeah,
throwing that card in there,
yeah.
right? Even if it doesn't help them as much as it helps their opponent, it's getting thrown in there.
Right.
Like I stopped putting it in photo decks because I knew my opponent was going to play it, and I would rather just have a different name location.
Right. And then next is an all reality. I mean, if you want an illustrated deck and any support character got power, this should have been in your deck.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw a question out to you.
Okay.
If they get a location at every tournament, when are we hitting basics? Because there's not a lot of these guys, is there?
Well, there are at least 5 more of the Wakanda type locations.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't think the Hex and Magnaport got nothing to worry about. I mean, now unless WandaVision become a huge thing.
That's
But,
true. That's
but,
true.
but for the illustrated side, they still got those and whatever else they may put out.
Yeah. I would try to popularize Alcatraz. I think I made some believers this time.
Man. Yeah, once you see it in action, like, wait, that's a thing? Oh, and it works? Oh, oh. I think that's the last slide. So, yeah, we went over the list. This is what we're gonna be the ban list for Ohio. Hopefully we may get one more set before Ohio, but I mean, so my question to you, how do this change up the meta? You think with
All
this
right.
event?
So
I mean,
so
obviously without giving all your secrets.
how do I feel like this changes the meta? So I think the biggest change to the meta is the Maximus loss. Right. So most of your alt win decks are firing Maximus off. So that's gone. So it's gonna be more combat oriented. I'm not gonna say we're in aggro land yet. But I feel like you can't. Your quick wins are going to be disappearing. There's still some out there, but they're disappearing.
Um, but then, like I said, you still have let some of the dogs out, getting rid of like the JJ and the Iceman and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I know Photo is happy about it. I think Photo would benefit more from this ban than Illustrate benefited.
Well, the loss of Molder is really big.
Well, no, it is, but like I said, but look at the numbers on these 7, 8, 8, 8, 5, 8, and 7.
Yeah.
You losing a freezing one, a Swiss boomerang, Ahab, Jessica Jones. I mean, I just feel if you had to pick who happier to see this, I think it would be a
Yeah.
Photo deck builder.
I think also the loss of Dark Phoenix and Monarch changes the end game of Illustrated.
Right.
I mean, a lot of illustrated decks are going to Monarch, going to Dark Phoenix. The Jungle Hunter.
I think I asked you that, like, how many Omegas were actually action conned?
I think I saw. I mean, my deck doesn't play to turn 8,
Right.
so.
I mean, but the people who did play, you seen Monarch, you seen Jean Grey. Were there any other Omegas there?
I didn't see any. I didn't even see Storm, and she's like 3rd place.
Right.
So,
but she was so far behind. At least it seemed like in number wise.
yeah.
I mean, without Monarch, I think she make her appearance because with Aggro, that where she comes in.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I don't want to give too much away because I'm playing in the Incursion event, but you got to look at these new cards. Look at the new cards. Yeah. They are crazy.
Man, you name yourself. I mean, Yep. So I think we'll get ready to wrap this up under an hour. That's always a good time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll be around. And also want to let people know that the Buckeye season ain't going nowhere. We just taking a short break. Once the new format come out in October, we plan on having the draft that like the 11th. No, sorry. Yeah, the draft gonna be on the 11th. That give us what some time to look out. Do we want to do? We're gonna have the draft soon after that format is released.
Yeah. They'll release the format. The three of us will put our list together, and then we'll do the
Yes,
thing.
we're gonna get that rolling. And then we're gonna have our yearly event coming up next year. We do well it used to be code name 1+1=2, but we do have a unofficial name for it because Ron get to name it. You remember the name of the next format?
No.
You gonna do me like that?
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're gonna do me like that.
So we'll have more coming out about that. We talked about last year. We just didn't run it, but we're gonna be coming back with it and making sure it's up to speed. So anything, well, sign if you go into Ohio, please sign up.
Yeah.
If you want to commentate Ohio, please reach out to me. I'm looking for people to commentate people who not coming. We plan on doing it in like shifts, so you don't have to. We ain't looking for somebody to commentate from 11 to 6. But if you could give us a couple hours, we would love to have you. Um,
It's
and
gonna be
yeah,
a big turnout. A big turnout.
yes, at least that's what we believe, and we
I'm
believe in
hoping.
belief. You have anything else?
Uh, no,
All right,
no.
we'll wrap this up. Thanks for listening, and have a good day, night, middle of the day, lunch, whenever you check this out. Peace.